Hi everyone, it is Mrs. Caffiero. Today we are going to be working in Module 1, Lesson 18. We are still in the standard OA 1.3. Today we are going to solve multi-step word problems modeled with tape diagrams and assess the reasonableness of our answers using rounding. So in the last two lessons, we did this specifically with adding and then subtracting. So now it's not going to tell us whether it's adding or subtracting. You have to know based on the word problem. The materials that you will need for today's lesson: paper, pencil, and your math workbook. Go ahead and pause the video now to gather your materials. Now that we have our materials, let's go ahead and get started. So our first word problem reads, in 1 year, a factory used 11,650 meters of cotton, 4,950 fewer meters of silk than cotton, and 3,500 fewer meters of wool than silk. How many meters in all were used of the three fabrics? So the information that we know that cotton was 11,650. We know that silk is 4,950 fewer than cotton. So that's going to be 11,650 minus the 4,950. And wool is going to be whatever silk is minus 3,500. So before we can even figure out wool, we need to figure out silk. So the first thing we are going to do is we are going to subtract these two numbers, and the easiest way to do that is to line them up vertically. All right, 0 minus 0 is 0, 5 minus 5 is 0. We can't do 6 minus 9. (16 minus 9 is 7. Don't forget your comma. That's 6. So for silk, we have 6,700. So I am going to erase this because we have a total now, and it is 6,700. Now that we have our total for silk, we can figure out our total for wool. So we know that silk is 6,700, and we're going to subtract 3,500 from that, because it had 3,500 fewer meters of wool than silk. So 0 minus 0 is 0, same. 7 minus 5 is 2, 6 minus 3 is 3. So wool is 3,200. So now we have our totals for cotton, silk, and wool. The final question asks how many meters in all were used of the three fabrics. When it uses things, when the problems use words like in all, it wants you to add. So what I want you to do now is pause the video so you can add these three numbers together and get your total. All right, let's see if you got the right answer. So when you add these three numbers together, you should get 21,550 meters of fabric in total. And you can see here on the right-hand side, when we added those numbers together, what it looks like. And then you can see that we wrote our answer in a statement. All right, let's move on to the next example. The shop sold 12,789 chocolate and 9,324 cookie dough cones. It sold 1,078 more peanut butter cones than cookie dough cones, and 999 more vanilla cones than chocolate cones. What was the total number of ice cream cones sold? All right, so what we need to do first is figure out what our variables are. So we know for chocolate, CH for chocolate, we have 12,789. For cookie dough, CD, we have 9,324. For peanut butter, PB, it says that 1,078 more peanut butter. So let's do 1,078 plus, and then it says more than cookie dough. So we're going to take our base number for cookie dough and add it to 1,078. So that's going to be 1,078 plus 9,324. And then we have vanilla, V for vanilla, and it says 99 more vanilla cones. So 999 more vanilla cones plus, let's see, it has more vanilla cones than chocolate cones. So we're going to take our base number for chocolate and add it to that. All right, so we have our chocolate, our cookie dough, our peanut butter, and our vanilla. Now, instead of adding all 6 numbers together, it's going to be easier for us to solve for peanut butter and vanilla, then put them all together. Because again, they want to know the total number of ice cream cones sold. So this means we're going to be using addition for our final step. So in order to figure out peanut butter, we've got 1,078 plus 9,324. So for peanut butter, we have 10,402. So I'm going to erase peanut butter here, and I'm going to rewrite 10,402. And then for vanilla, we've got 12,789 plus 999. So for vanilla, we can erase the problem here because we do have a total, and that is 13,788. So now that we know our totals for each one, we are going to add them together to get a total of all the ice cream cones sold. So go ahead and pause the video now to find the total. Okay, let's go ahead and check our solution. So you can see here where we figured out peanut butter and vanilla. We took our totals for each one, we added it together. When you added it together, you should have gotten a final answer of 46,303. And again, we wrote our answer in a statement. Let's move on to our last example. The last example reads, in the first week of June, a restaurant sold 10,345 omelets. In the second week, 1,096 fewer omelets were sold than the first week. In the third week, 2,000 more omelets were sold than in the first week. In the fourth week, 2,000 fewer omelets were sold than in the first week. How many omelets were sold in all of June? All right, this one is a little bit complicated because they use the standard form of the number plus the written out form of a number. So you have to pay really close attention to the information they're providing you so you know exactly what you need to do. So let's see. We are looking at the weeks in the month of June. So J1 will be June 1st week, J2 June 2nd week, J3 June 3rd week, and J4 is June 4th week. Now it says the first week of June, a restaurant sold 10,345. So J1 is going to equal 10,345. The second week, 1,096 fewer omelets were sold than in the first week. So we are going to take our base number from the first week, and we are going to subtract that 1,096 because it says 1,096 fewer omelets. Okay? All right, now for the third week, it says 2,000 more omelets were sold than in the first week. So 2,000 more, we're going to take 2,000 plus the amount we got from the first week. So that's 10,345. And then in week 4, it says 2,000 fewer omelets were sold than in the first week. So that means we're going to start with our base number from the first week, 10,345, and we are going to subtract 2,000. Okay? So you know your equations for each week. What you need to do is solve the equations for the second week, the third week, and the fourth week. And once you have your final answers for those 3 weeks, it wants to know how many omelets were sold in all in June. Those words "in all" tell you that you're going to be using addition for your final step. Okay? So after you have your answers for week 2, week 3, week 4, you are going to take all the numbers from the first week to the fourth week, and you are going to add them together to get a final answer. Go ahead and pause the video now so you can start working on that. All right, let's look at our solution. So you can see here that we have week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4 drawn with tape diagrams. And you can see that each time we had the 10,345, we added it together. You can also see over here when we had to subtract the 1,096. And you can see over here in the final part when we had our final answer put all together, which is 40,284. So in June, the restaurant sold 40,284 omelets. Now, just in case you're confused as to why they have this, this, and this added together, you can see here that in week 3 they had 2,000 plus, and in week 4 they had minus 2,000. All they did was they moved this 2,000 to replace what was missing down here, and that gave us our 3 totals of 10,345 for week 1, week 3, and week 4 when we move this 2,000 down from week 3 to week 4. So that's why they added those 3 together there. Then they took week 2. So this equation over here is week 2. Once they knew the total for week 2, they were able to just take these 2 numbers and add them together to find the final answer for all the omelets sold in June. All right. For your problem set, you're going to be in your math workbook on page 83. It is only 1 page. Your must-dos are 1, 2, and 3. You must do the entire page. The reason is that you need to make sure that you're getting as much practice as possible, reading through word problems and trying to determine which operations you need to use. Once you complete your problem set, you're going to work on your exit ticket. Now, there is only 1 question for the exit ticket, so please make sure that you read it carefully and remember that it is a multi-step problem. So you're not going to be doing just 1 equation and done. You're going to be doing multiple equations, okay? If you have any questions, please reach out on your private channel.